Today we're taking one layout and creating 3 unique card designs using brand new products from Pixi Dust Designs. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to be using the new Coffee 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to give you a look at that. It's a really fun paper pad with more pastel colors, teals, pinks, light browns. There are 12 designs, and I think you get 2 of each. 2 or 3 of each. I don't remember now. But you get a lot in a paper pad. So there's the paper pad, and you can see it started repeating. So we're just going to move on. Tons of paper in this paper pad. So I'm going to stick that back in my folder, and we're going to use the You Fill My Cup stamp set as well. That just came. All these products just came out on February 3rd. And here is my layout that we are going to use today, or card sketch. So I've already stamped and colored all my little images from the stamp set. So I did that off screen to save us some time today. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in my pieces for my first card. I'm going to do top folding A2 cards. So here's my layout. We're going to do it just like the original sketch. Besides that one modification where that strip that I showed you on the sketch, I'm going to do just a 1-inch strip across the whole thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add my pattern paper to the front of my matte layer. And that's just 4 by 5 1/4. And my pattern paper is 3 3/4 by 5 on every one of the cards. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And you can see I chose the pattern that has the coffee, different kind of coffees on it. And then my other pattern is the coffee beans. So I'll go ahead and add that to my card front or card base as well. I'm keeping this one as the original card sketch. And you can do this with what I'm going to show you today. You can do with any card sketch. And that's why I like to make my own. I like to take in, when I find one, I'll recreate it. And with the measurements that I figured out. And that way I can use it to the ways I'm about to show you to get more unique looks out of your card sketches. So I'm going to go ahead and add my additional pattern paper here. Now this part could be like just a sentiment. I chose to use more of the pattern paper because I like pattern paper. So especially the Pixi Dust Design pattern paper because it's always so fun. Now my focal image I kept square. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on that. And I just chose to use a brown pigment. It's VersaFine Claire. I think it's Fallen Leaf. So I'm just going to stamp that on there. It says, You Fill My Cup. And I'm going to attach that to a matte layer of that same pink cardstock that I use for the background. And we're just going to attach that down. And I'm going to attach that to my card base. You can never go wrong. That's why I like sketches. You can never go wrong with them. Everything works out great, and you have so many ways you can use them. You can change up your focal image, which is one way. And we're going to go ahead and add our little girl on here. And I'm just going to pop her. Yes, I did pop her up on foam squares. So I'm just going to add those on, and then I'll peel those backings off and pop her down. And here is my card. And here's a look at the card, and we will move on to our second card. All right, here is our images for our second card. Now you can see that I changed the focal image up. Instead of a square, I'm going to do a circle. But we're going to take our sketch and we're going to flip it upside down. You can do it to the side, that side. We're going to flip it upside down. That way, it's going to give us a completely different look than our first card. So I'm going to go ahead and add my same size pattern paper. Again, all these mats and layers are the same size, besides our focal images. Those are all going to be different. So we're going to go ahead and attach that pattern paper. We'll add that to our top folding card base. And just get our liquid glue on there and pop this on. Just super easy. Here we go. There we line that up nice and straight. It's always better when you line it up straight. Sometimes we have issues with that. At least I do. So we're going to go ahead and pop that on. I'm going to go ahead and take my pattern paper, and I just chose the back side of this pattern. So I'm just going to attach that down across the top, and you can bring that down further if you wanted to. I brought it down a little bit further than what the sketch was. I'm going to stamp my sentiment into a white die cut circle, and I'm going to use that same color ink that I use, and this one is, I think it's it's the Coffee and Friends sentiment from the stamp set. I'm going to add that to a die cut circle, slightly cut larger than our sentiment circle. So I'm just going to layer those together. That way it gives me that frame around our sentiment. Helps with the sizing. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. And I'm going to pop it up. So I'm going to add some foam squares behind it. Foam dots. And we'll just pop those on, take the backings off, pop it up in the center or on the right-hand side of our card. And then for my little girl, I chose the one with the latte in her hand, the big latte, my size of latte. I'm just going to go ahead and attach her down onto the card front. And that way, here's our second card. You can see by just flipping the card sketch, it gives you a completely different look than the other one. Here's a look at the card. And for our last card, we're going to rotate it. We're going to take it where it is and rotate it over. And this is going to be where we're going to add our focal images. Or you can turn it that way also, get a different direction. We're going to go with it more like that. All right, for our pieces, we're going to go ahead and take I did a still A2 card, just a hamburger style card where it's the shorter on one side, top foldings, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and add our pattern paper on. And I just picked a matte layer that was very similar to what my pattern paper was. It's not exact, but it's close. So it works fine. Now, for this one, I did extend the strip across the, that goes across. I extended it the full length of that panel. So it's 5 inches. It's 1 inch by 5 inch. That way it helped, it gives you lets you adjust it. So don't be afraid to adjust your layouts. And I used the same coffee bean pattern. I just chose the pink one with the brown layer, with the brown beans. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card front. So we're just going to add our liquid glue on there. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that. And again, I'm using that whole 1/8 inch margin all the way around. It's the one I like. Make sure it's nice and straight. And this time, my focal image, I chose to cut out with the Valentine heart dies. I'd used the scalloped heart that's in that set, cut a piece of white cardstock out. That's where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And this was the one that says, I like you a latte. So I'm going to stamp that over to the right-hand side using our same ink that we've been using for all of our sentiments. And then I'll pull that out. And I'm going to go ahead and pull Misty out of the way. Lay that on there. And I'm going to attach my little girl this time to the heart before I pop it up. So we're going to go ahead and just attach her down real close to our sentiment. This way I could go ahead and add any that was overhanging. I could add foam dots behind there as well to keep everything nice and together. We're just going to make sure she's on there nice and straight. We're going to add our foam adhesive and I'll peel those backings off. You can see I used a lot to make sure it's nice and sturdy. I'm going to pop her down there. And then I'm going to add some finishing touches. I'm going to come in and add some Stardust stickles to all of my little images. I just chose certain areas, like I did the little heart on the coffee cup on this one. And her shirt, I added some of the Stardust stickles to give it a little bit of glitter. That helps to help draw your eye into our layouts and our design. But even with the same layout, just rotating and flipping, you can see it's completely different card every time. So it's a good way. I did minimal work, same size, everything. Changed the focal image for my sentiment. And I have 3 unique cards that no one would ever know that they're all based off the same one, besides you and me. Now for this one, I added some to the heart, stickles to the heart. And I added some to the heart on the cup here as well. I think I added it to her bow. And I believe the heart on the shirt as well. So that way it gives it a little bit of sparkle. Oh, and I did add it to the coffee pot as well. If you haven't seen the Pixi Dust Design release, I encourage you to go over to the website and see it. I have a link below you can see all the coffee themed products that are coming out, that are out now. I'm adding a little bit more glitter over there. But this really cute release this month. I think everybody that's a coffee fan would like it. Here's a look at all 3 of the cards. I'm going to pull them all up to the camera. There's a look at the sketch again. This is the one that's closest to the sketch. So there's that card. And then here's our second card. And then here is a look at our third and last card for using this layout. So I'll move all that out of the way, put those in the screen. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up right after these. See you in the next video. Stay crafty. Love you.